Are live. I am Savage Squishy 86, and this is our beginnings of Resident Evil 1, the remake. So, I said that I was going to probably go ahead and go through with this, and I am really enthusiastic about it because I've been really thinking about how do I want to do this. We finished our director's cut run, so let's see what we get with the measure of the existential excitement of a remake endeavored game. It's been a hot minute since I played this, so I am really looking forward to it. In the sense that we basically have gotten the opportunity to really kind of explore that. Um, Pretty much straightforward. You get a lot of these other contents unlocked here. These are all different various cutscenes. Obviously, I've already completed the game, so we essentially have all of the endings. But I will not give any spoilers away. But it is pretty much a carbon copy of the director's cut game. So you will find a lot of similarities to what we played in the director's cut, with the monumental differences of additional areas that they've included in the remake, additional puzzles that they've included in the remake, and a new itinerary of areas that we otherwise did never see in the original OG version of the game. I think that's why I really go back to this and really enjoy it really wholeheartedly, because the simple fact is it really kind of resonates a sense of presence that the other game didn't have, but it was one that we could explore. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. Um, and in that respect, it's going to be pretty enthusiastic to see uh, where we go with it. So just bear with me a moment here. I'm looking something up really quick that I was curious to see. It's relevant to the playthrough, but I want to check my homework first before we get started. Okay. All right. That answers my question. So, what we're going to do basically is pursue a game strictly and straightforward, in the sense we're going to be going with Chris as our default play, because Chris is one of my favorite characters. With the sense that it is going to be a bit more challenging for us to sort of get that measure over with that difficulty. The other additive is going to be Jill, which we will do later. So essentially, with this playthrough in this game, we're going to go with one Chris game standard, one Jill game standard, and then maybe, I'm not sure, I might try Real Survivor, which essentially Real Survivor is hard difficulty. So we won't go to hard difficulty because we'll be playing hard as it is with Survivor, but with the adage of it basically not linking item boxes. So what does that mean? Well, if you say drop off your, imagine the item boxes that we recently just had in the director's cut. Essentially, the director's cut symbolizes the sense that the item boxes are all interlinked. We can gain storage to any unit when we want, which is great. But the challenging factor of it is that they're not linked. So if you drop, say, your shotgun in the mansion's first floor storage room on the east wing, you have to get it from there. You can't go to the storage room in the first floor west wing. You can't go to the storage room in the basement. You can't go to the storage room in the lab. It's essentially a forced cut measure where you actually have a greater emphasis of struggle to sort of run back and forth and get these necessary items. Uh, and again, it's also hard difficulty. It puts an air of pressure on the player to um, be careful with what they leave behind, be even more careful with what you take with you. Enemies will pretty much almost kill you in like two or three attacks. Um, and they're more resistant to damage. Ammo is not as in good supply as you would think, and it just really kind of raises the stakes a little bit in terms of the pressures involved with surviving. Because you know you could have all your munitions and health in one side of the mansion, and you're gonna have to fight your way to get there to get the items out to save your neck. So I don't know. We'll think about it. I like playing that game. I like playing that difficulty, especially because it really kind of forces my hand to think strategically, which definitely puts any player on his heels. If you really want a real challenge, though, you should try Invisible Enemy. I would not do it again. I did it once or twice, and I will never do it again. But essentially, Invisible Enemy is, as it says, enemies, all enemies. I'm not talking just one. I'm talking zombies, dogs, hunters, even bosses are invisible, and they will essentially only be visible when they are attacking you animation or they are killed. Beyond that, that is it. Visible enemies are, and of course that's it. That's a challenge in itself. So you could try that if you want to. I would never really see myself doing it again. I did it twice. I'll never do it again. But it is definitely a challenging game mode. But Real Survivor is my happy place, so I like doing that. So, but enough of my rambling. We're going to get into this action here. So we're just going to take a look at our setup. So here we have the original version, which is pretty straightforward, and then we have the wide version. So we're going to go with the wide version. The control obviously is going to be pretty much the same as it always has been. The map, pretty much in its own right, is basically that. But with the adage of other elements being featuretted in the sense where it is pretty much straightforward. So you got all kinds of different ways you could lay up your controls, especially if you're a type of person who does tank controls. That too is a factor, so you could do that too. Me personally, I have never been very keen for the complexities of it. Um, Oh, okay. So this is basically just gives you a huge itinerary. I try to stick pretty straightforward with my control scheme, so there's no measure of confusion. And then pretty much we can change the language, blah blah blah. Fabulous, awesome. Auto data upload. It doesn't really matter if you do that or not. It's entirely up to you. So we're gonna go ahead and say new game.
Resident Evil.
So, and then we're gonna basically have wide controls, original or alternate. Doesn't really matter. Um, We'll go and stick with the original. Now, this question here is signifying of the difficulty that you want to play this game on. So here we have, I like climbing a mountain, fulfilling, but takes a lot of work. That is essentially normal. I like going on a hike, good exercise, but not too strenuous. That is essentially easy. And then you have, I like going for a walk. You can relax and enjoy yourself. This is very easy. So you pretty much got a nice little comfort zone there. When we beat the game, we'll be able to put it on hard if we want to. We'll unlock easy, normal, and hard in that respect. So we've got options in those departments. And definitely, that includes also completing the game. We'll get Real Survivor, we'll get Invisible Enemy, etc. So, but we're going to go with normal. And then here we have Chris and we have Jill. Now, the ironic thing is that I will give you a little bit of spoiler here, but these are essentially the characters later in Resident Evil 5. So this is essentially, you can play as Jill's Resident Evil 5 a BSAA skin or her traditional star skin. Same with Chris, BSAA skin or the star skin. So, but we're going to play as Chris, so we're going to go right into the fray. And here we go. I am really looking forward to this. Takes me back, bro. Director's cut and this.
Alpha Team is flying around the forest zone, situated in northwest Raccoon City, where we are searching for the helicopter of our compatriots, Bravo Team, who disappeared during the middle of their mission.
Haven't found it yet?
No, not yet, Brad. Bizarre murder cases have recently occurred in Raccoon City. There are outlandish reports of families being attacked by a group of about 10 people. Victims were apparently eaten. The Bravo team was sent in to investigate, but we lost contact.
Look, Chris.
Bravo team's helicopter was a derelict. Save for the remaining body of Kevin, We continued our search for the other members, and it turned into a nightmare.
Now we have Joseph there with Jill. Joseph sporting the red bandana and the shotgun look with the shoulder camera. I kind of like that idea. I mean, it's not like body cameras, but it captures live footage of their encounter. They're ripping them apart. Poor Joseph. Dead and eaten by dogs. And Jill's just in disbelief. Wake up! Get up! Get moving! I gotta say that was a nice sequence. When I saw this trailer for the first time, when I saw this, I loved this entire sequence because they actually used this footage with the trailer when they released it to television.
Chris, this way.
Bang, bang, bang. Matter of fact, I'm curious when this game was remade. First remade with Nintendo GameCube. Let's look it up.
Make for that mansion!
It was remade in
There are only 3 STARS members
2002.
left now. Captain Wesker, Jill, and myself. We
So,
don't know where Barry is.
24 years ago today. I love it.
Is everyone all right?
Barry. Where's Barry?
He's...
No. What was that?
I'll go and check it out.
All right. Jill and I will stay and secure this area.
Chris? Take care.
Yeah.
So just like we did in the remake, in the director's cut, essentially we're basically doing it for the same shtick. Now you'll notice a huge visual upgrade. Big time visual upgrade, big time visual operations. Here we have a save room now, as opposed to the director's cut where we didn't have a save room. But we're going to grab the ink ribbons here, and we're going to save our game. Silent flicker of the flame. Now I am going to walk a little bit because I do enjoy this game's atmosphere, so I'm going to take my time. So this may take a couple of parts, but I enjoy taking my time with these games and just taking in the setting, taking in the environment. The lighting. Why rush a good thing like that? It's criminal if you do. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but then I want to pay attention to something. As you can see, I got this really gnarly looking combat knife. Now, essentially, this is what makes Chris such a great character with the knife. So he has a wider reach with the knife, especially when he's doing a downward strike. But if you notice, he takes a step back. So you could essentially do 2 stabs and then step back, then do it again, and that's essentially what makes him such a great character to use with the knife. Jill doesn't have that reach or that measure of defensive positioning, so essentially we can just be much go forward with that. I've got games saved in here already, but I'm gonna rewrite them and do differently. We got 8 saves slots here, so we're gonna take advantage of probably playing I'm going to play a couple games of Jill and Chris respectively. So right here we're going to put in the normal game save slot here. We're going to put in for Chris right there. And there we go. Mansion dining room. So now we'll take our leave down here. Large, filth-encrusted jar. Over here you'll find the emblem, but we're not going to take it with us. We're going to leave it. What I really want to look at is the blood here on the floor. There are bloodstains on the floor. I hope they didn't come from your friends. Now here is where we will find another encounter. Obviously, we know what's going to be waiting around the corner. But check out these doors. You'll find these doors are locked from the other side. Same thing from Pitch. Sword key down there. You'll notice there are no double doors, though. Which, this is another example of the elements that have changed in this game since the original development. So here we have an armor key development that we need to find. But further down here, you'll find there are no double doors. There's an elevator here. It doesn't look like you can take it from this floor. Head down here. It's locked, and the emblem of a sword. So you need a sword key to open this door. You need an armor key to open up the other door. So we pretty much already know these things. A lot of the similarities, but very minor differences that we will encounter from the OG version and the remake. The remake kind of has its own element of additions that and forcibly making players adapt. Oh, I love that lightning. Love it, love it, love it. So once we head around the corner, we'll immediately encounter a zombie eating our good friend Kenneth. Now we could take down that zombie, but we're not going to because we're going to have a new form of a threat with zombies we dispatch. I'll explain that later, but instead we're going to turn around and run away. Now, obviously, this is another thing I want to point out. So, in the hallway, in the rooms you've been in, you'll notice that the maps are red. This essentially indicates that there are items in those rooms you have not collected yet. So, when you check your map, check them and make sure often that the room is completely clear. There are no items to grab or sorties in a sense. 100% in the corner up there, as you see, 100% means green will be the room. If it's still in progress, that means there's still stuff to find in that room. So head back into the hall, and we will find both Wesker and Jill are gone.
Wesker? Jill? Where did they go?
Welcome to the stream, viewer. Good morning. So once you've come back to the hall, you'll see Jill and Wesker, as usual from the OG, will be gone. But Jill's gun will be lying on the floor. Pick it up. Now that we have a means and measure of fighting back, we can. Heading down the stairs here, we will find another passage underneath the stairwell that was not in the OG version. With another threat. They definitely raised the stakes on the scare factor because there is definitely a little bit of an air of terror that goes into that. Definitely want to change my controls though. Let me see if I can change that. Okay, good. Oh wait, no. I'll have to be careful with the right stick because I didn't want to turn around. But that might get me in trouble when I'm playing against the green of the game. But inside here, over here, you'll find the door is locked. Obviously, this door is now no longer an armor key door. It's a helmet key door, so we can't access this door until we get the helmet key. But heading into here, the art room will still yield the same results. So obviously in the art gallery, we are back with this familiarity here, but no stepladder. So what do we use? Well, we're going to use this little cabinet that we're going to push out of the way here. So push it down. Above us here, inside this watery map, this statue will have the mansion's first floor map. And this gives it a complete layout. Now you'll notice that a lot of the rooms are a little bit of the same, but you have an itinerary of areas that are otherwise still relatively unchanged. So you'll notice that there is another room here, just hidden. We can't access it yet because we don't have the closet key. They've essentially moved the closet room. So I will show you where the closet room is for the closet key. So here, behind this painting right here, this is essentially the closet door. And that will be what we use to get the closet key open. Now, another new element they've added to the game is defensive weapons. So Chris will get access to daggers as well as stun grenades. These are essentially weapons you can use to get out of the grip of zombies and other enemies that essentially would attack you. You can set them to manual use or automatic use. I tend to use them as automatic, but you'll pretty much find it right here that this is essentially one such example. If the enemy grabs you, you'll essentially stab them in the head with it. Here it is. Emergency evade. Using defensive items such as daggers will allow you to escape momentarily and grabbed by an enemy. However, you will not be able to escape when the enemy grabs you from behind. To equip your defensive item, go into the status screen and then select an item from the defensive item menu. Then select the equip command. If your defensive item mode is set to manual, in the controller setting, you must press L2 to use the defensive item. I don't particularly like doing that. I feel doesn't really. I mean, you can if you want to control it. I would probably do it in hardcore, in like real survival or hard difficulty, but I would never do it otherwise. So now, attempting to leave, you'll be cornered by a zombie. Now, what we want to do is probably put the zombie down if we can, or run around him if we can. Well, we're gonna use it. Damn. Did not want to have that happen, but that's essentially what will happen if you're not careful. The other door is locked, so we won't be able to go through that, so we're gonna run out of here. But now you've seen what the defensive item does. Unlike Director's Cut, we can't rewind the game, so we're gonna take our measure of just going forward. So once out in the hallway, you can try to open the door, and you'll be attacked by a dog. The dog will actually breach the hallway, and you'll have to fight it. So do not open the door. Upon entering here, back to the dining room, you'll notice the clock is again still a thing with the clock clock puzzle, which we will solve that later. Entering the hall where we found Kenneth's body. Turning to your right, you'll find the zombie is actually now further down the hall. He will not be a problem for us. Let's go ahead and change the brightness, though, because I want to make it a little bit more creepy. So let's say we dim it to 35. Definitely want to add a little bit of, you know, seeing them in the dark and shit. Now, the zombie will not pursue you unless you stay out of range. As long as you stay out of range, he will not be a problem. Now, here we have Kenneth, who essentially is pretty much dead. So he won't find any ammo on him, but you will find his film that belongs to Kenneth. That's basically like similar to the recorder that Joseph had. I didn't touch the right analog stick. I don't know why I did that. So upon entering this hallway here, another extension of the game's areas, over here on the left, you'll find a magazine. I like the way they changed the handgun. They changed that name from clip to magazine. There's a corpse on the floor to your right. Go ahead and check him. And basically, you'll just like an instant death. What the hell happened in this mansion? So you're basically getting the groove of things to assert to that sense. Here, it looks like these look like manacles. I don't know why they would have manacles on the wall. That's a little weird. Why are you got chains hanging from the wall like you're gonna shackle someone to the damn wall? I mean, that's like some, House of Hell kind of thing. So, but over here, we're gonna grab the green herbs. Go ahead and mix them. Forgot, touchpad is no longer the status screen. It's the circle button. So mixing them will give us 2 green herbs. Then we're gonna head up the stairs, taking us to the 2nd floor. Now, it's essential that I'm checking all of the doors because I want to basically lay out exactly for the players, the new players, of the implications of the availability for select items that otherwise we would not be able to access. So grab that green herb, mix it. Now we got a full 3 green herbs. Ignore the body there. It's not going to be a problem, but we're going to head into this area now. And we're going to find a key. And ironically, this is actually an even greater extension of an area. So this is the game's got a lot of extra areas. So as you can see, we've already navigated completely 2 opposite corridors that essentially are not within the original game's layout. So here we have the armor key now, but unfortunately we cannot take it because it is a trap. Once you take the key, the walls will close in and essentially seal you in this space with a giant blade spinning trap approaching to maul you to death. So we're going to go ahead and check it real quick. You obviously know it's an armor key. So use it, put it back. That will disable the trap and enable us to get out. We need to find something to replace it in order to get that key. The only way we're going to get it without getting killed. But heading further in the back here, you'll find there's another door. This in turn is on the 3rd floor, so this is essentially another helmet key door that we have to unlock. So now if you check your map, essentially you'll see that this is basically just another extension of the 2nd floor. So, I mean, oh man, I'm so glad I'm playing this. I love the OG version, but this makes you the OG version. I love playing the OG version of Resident Evil Director's Cut, but this makes me want to play. It makes me want to play this too. I mean, shit, it makes me want to play 0, and I've already played 0, but I'm like getting so pumped with going back in time here. So, right away, have your pistol equipped, and immediately we will see there is a zombie here. And this is essentially what we want to do. We want to duck and weave and get around them. Now, obviously, this door is locked from the other side, so we're going to head down here instead. And we're going to grab the arrowhead right here. The golden arrow. Essentially, that is what we want. So here we have status spec screen. Select an item, and then select to examine the command for details. So we're going to grab that. But more importantly, we're going to grab the magazine on the floor here. And then we're going to head out. Oh, shit! Now, you fucker. Get off of me! Get off! Damn it. Not wanting to grab me. I thought maybe I could actually avoid him. So right there, we got the door unlocked. Unfortunately, we took some damage. Usually I can run around him, so for whatever reason, though, he caught me that time. Out here, on the 2nd floor balcony, we will be in the dining hall, in the dining room. Over here, we have a defensive item, so let's grab that as well. And then we're gonna get out onto the double doors here. This will take us to the second floor, the main hall. That is the second floor, the dining hall, essentially. Yeah, it's kind of hard to really distinguish them because you're kind of expecting them to be more clean, but this place is pretty dated and nobody's been here in a long time. So what we're going to do now is head down here, head down the stairs, and here is a door hidden within the mural, which we will go ahead and open. And then we will find ourselves outside. Now, you can go about this two ways. You can use your gun or you can use your knife. In this case, we're going to use our gun because we don't have to worry about burning or conserving ammo too much. But essentially, what we want is these guys out of our way. What we are going to do, though, is use our knife to weaken them. And that will dispatch that zombie and eliminate him as a problem. Now what we will do is head over here. And you'll notice there's a zombie there on the left. And we're going to head over here and access this gravestone here. Obviously the zombie will get moving, but that's okay. We're not worried about that. What we want is a tomb engraved with a picture of an angel. There is an indentation in the shape of an arrowhead. We got that golden arrow, so let's take a look at that. And the arrowhead looks like it can be removed, so take the arrowhead and remove it, and then we will use it. And that will open up a passage leading down into the underground. God, just the lighting alone makes it even more surreal and eerie looking. So in here, we have a series of statues. And basically, those particular statues in question will have masks we need to find. This in turn is a whole new different kind of puzzle that pretty much exasperates your need to explore. So over here, and then you got this coffin above us. So over here, a book is fitted perfectly in the indentation. We're going to take it, and it is the Book of Curses. The following inscription is carved into the indentation. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. On the back of the book, though, if you examine it, similar to its tradition of examining items more closely, turning them around and everything, you got to find a key. Take the key, and they find it is a sword key. Using that, we'll open the book, and inside it will say, the 4 masks. A mask that speaks no evil. A mask that smells no evil. A mask that sees no evil. And a mask that cannot speak, smell, or see evil. When all 4 fall into place, evil will awaken. So, evil is in that coffin. I guess is the synonym. And then over here is where we will find the masks in question. So here we have the mask here on the right that has no speaking of evil. Here's the mask of no smelling evil. Here's the one that has no speaking, smelling, or seeing evil. And then here's this mask that has sees no evil. So we will have to find 4 masks with those intended means. So we're going to run up the stairs now. So go ahead and check your mansion key here. And you'll find it is the engraving of a sword. So. Now we're going to wait for the zombie to turn. And then hopefully we can run past him and get away. So we're just gonna... He can't come down the stairs, so it's essentially a dead zone for him. He's just gonna come and try to turn around and such. And that's it, so... And that's what we want. Run right past him, and then head back. Now, over there, you can see there's some shotgun shells, but we don't have the inventory to grab them yet. Over here is a gate, which will hold a mask on the other side. We can't get to that either, so we need to find our way around. So instead, head back into the mansions. Head back into the mansion and proceed to the first floor. In fact, we're going to take a different... We're actually... let me take a look here. Let me look at my map, too. Trying to track my position here. Okay. New plan. We're going to go instead to the first floor. We were going to go traditionally to the east wing on the first floor. Instead, what we're going to do is the west wing on the second floor. And the reason why is I want to get to a storage unit and I want to open up some storage and get myself some inventory space. So we're going to need to get to the storage unit. The closest one to us is on the first floor. We just got to do a little bit of finagling to get there. So we'll hear the zombie on the right side. We're not going to worry about him too much, but we'll go over here and use the sword key to unlock the second floor door up here. This will get us a little there. So we've already opened one door with the sword key. Inside here, we will find there is a number of threats. Notably, a couple zombies that we want to basically put down. Namely this one right here. We're just going to shoot him enough to get him on his ass. And then we're going to run past him. That is essentially our goal. And that will be that. So once we do that, we're going to run down the stairs. This is handy for two reasons. One, it enables us to have the security of dropping the bodies to get past them, but not killing them. And there's a reason why we really don't want to kill them. That's important. So here we are. Save room. Beautiful. Head over to the storage box, and you will open it to find ink ribbon and a first aid spray inside. Go ahead and drop off the ink ribbons as well as any other items in question. Over here, there's several kinds of serum here. Many of them are the sickly color. Now, I don't know if there's an ink ribbon here, but here we have special instruction for disposal of dead bodies. We have new information regarding those beings, referring to zombies. They may appear to be dead, but in fact they are able to come back to life. However, there are ways to prevent them from becoming active again. Currently, there are two known methods to cease their resurrection: incineration and destruction of the head. If further methods are discovered, you will be notified immediately. Meanwhile, to those of you who still have the will to live, oil has been placed in the first floor of the mansion. Take as much as you need. You'll need something light to light it with, which you'll need to find by yourself. Now, as it seems, we already have a lighter in our possession. A nice little adjustment they made from the director's cut was giving Chris a lighter and Jill the lockpick as their signature items, because Chris, as we know, is on and off again a smoker. So essentially he has a lighter already in his possession. So pretty much we need to do is burn the bodies. Every zombie we kill, we need to burn it. The only ones that are exception to that rule are the zombies that are out on the grounds in certain locations, namely the ones we just left. So any zombies we find, we need to burn the bodies, because they can come back as a new type of enemy called a Crimson Head, a V-Act. Crimson Heads are much more aggressive, volatile. They are running zombies, essentially, with claws, and incredibly powerful, but hard to kill. Very powerful and very dangerous. So when you drop a zombie, it's imperative that you burn that bitch as fast as you can and as soon as you can. Because if he does go a long time without being burned, he'll resurrect, and then you'll have a running zombie with claws and teeth ready to rip your face off. So we essentially will need that measure of countering that. Hence why I'm not in any hurry to kill zombies any more than I need to. Simply for that reason. So here we're gonna have to come out here. There's a zombie there. To our right we burn, but we're not going to. We're gonna head down the hall here. Avoid that zombie. This door is now is obviously locked with a simple lock, so we need simple locked. We need small keys to open these kinds of doors. Here, the door with the armor is also locked, so we essentially got our items dropped off. So we're gonna make our way out, avoid the zombie, and then head up the stairs promptly. And then here we have a zombie here in our way, so we're going to have the helmet key here. So we're gonna run past him and unlock the door and head on through. Get in the habit of running past them if you can, because in harder difficulties, you will be glad to do that. Do the same thing with this big boy here. And then do this. Oh, you fucking dick. Ugh, again with you. I gotta be careful with that. I may have to practice more. I'm a little bit out of practice with my dodge technique. So we wasted a perfectly good defensive item. I probably should have saved the game back there, just in case of that happening, but it's okay. So this door here will lead to a balcony level on the upper level. We don't have access to that yet. We gotta unlock the door to it. We need the armor key to do it. So what we are going to do is head over here. We'll find another door here. This was obviously going to be Forrest's, Forrest's spear, the zombie stars agent that essentially is out there. Up here, I don't know what this is. Is this an armor key or a sword key? Sword key. So we got luck there. Good. Essentially, we want to take the second floor and get that door open. And here inside this hallway, we will find, obviously, shit. Now we are a little bit hurt. That's okay, though. We pretty much expected that to happen. We're going to run past this zombie here. And we're going to grab the plaque wood here, which is important. The wooden mount is essentially what we're going to want there. I don't know if we can unlock this door. Nope, it's locked from the other side. So we can't go that way. So head on through here. This is obviously where we're going to find the botany book that's relevant to our progress. So that's obviously for healing, obviously. But over here, we will also have a dog whistle, which is essentially important to this. A crumpled memo. Today, Sir Spencer told me to hide something where no one could find it. Well, I had the idea. I figured if I could somehow have it protected by a dangerous animal like the vicious canine that lives here, no one would be able to get near it. As far as I can tell, the mutt is always hanging around the second floor balcony on the west side of the terrace, and he ought to come running at the sound of a dog whistle. This is where you can come in. The thing is, I reckon you're the only person that can get near the damn dog without risking a serious mauling, which means only you can put this collar on him. The object that Sir Spencer wants hidden is concealed inside. You're the only person I can trust with this. Of course, you'll get something out of it as well. Remember that certain item that you always wanted to get hold of? Like the key? Well, in exchange for your services, I just may be able to get it for you. This could work out well for both of us. John Tillman. So we obviously have another another puzzle to solve and another item to get. So we're going to do that. But before we get further ahead, over here, you'll see this green book over here on the level. So this will be the botany book. Obviously, this goes without saying. We've read this file before, but we'll read it again. Use of medicine herb. It is well-known fact that there exist many plants that are credited with medical healing powers. Since the ancient times, mankind is healing wounds and diseases using various plants. If in this book, you will sample 3 herbs that are native to the Arklay Mountains and briefly outline each of their medicinal qualities. Each herb has a distinct color and distinct medicinal quality. Green herb recovers physical strength. The blue herb neutralizes natural toxins. However, the red herb has no real effect by itself. We have found that mixing green and red herbs result in a magnified effect. We will outline the effects of red herbs when mixed with other herbs when we have more data. Meanwhile, feel free to experiment on your own, for true knowledge is only acquired through. So we pretty much have the layout of the herb medicinal business at hand there. So we're going to head over here, open the door, and head on through. Ignore the zombies to your front and left. We're going to head downstairs now. Ignore the zombie to our side there, and quickly take him down. Easy headshot. Done. So that's essentially what we wanted. So that's one less zombie we need to cook. Heading into here will be our storage room. And what we want is, importantly, is this kerosene here. That is what we want. We're going to put away the dog whistle. And we're going to put away the wooden mount for now. Grab the kerosene can. And now we can start burning some zombies. I don't want to kill any zombies until I can burn them, because essentially they'll just come back. We'll go ahead and heal ourselves with the green herbs. And we'll save our game as well. So we now have kerosene in our container. We have a small key here, which we do want next. We're going to put our knife away because we don't really need that anymore, at least not yet. So let's save our game. I'm going to be doing a lot more religious saving here because it's evident that I'm kind of rusty. So I'm definitely going to take extra due care with my actions going forward. I've already. I mean, I will. It will come back to me. My muscle memory, if you will. So I have no qualms of that. It will come back to me. So upon getting the kerosene, we want to dispatch some of these zombies a little bit to make it a little bit more flexible for us to move. Get them down. Oh, you fucker. I'm gonna have to reload that because I did not want him to do that. So we're gonna quit the game. We're gonna reload it. What a shit show. You son of a bitch. Maybe I should take a different route, maybe. I don't know. I don't want to keep doing that either. No, I don't want to load that. What am I doing? Fucking dick. Once again, basically is the indication I've already beaten the game once, so we're going to load the proper save. Jeez, what a donkey. So let's get back into this action. So, let's try this dance again, shall we? Maybe I'll probably have to go down. Maybe I'll drop the one zombie and then I'll head down the stairs. I don't know. We'll see. Now I'll take care of that zombie. Now, if you see a pool of blood pool underneath him, that is a good indicator. So there's our pool of blood. We know that that's the case, so let's go ahead and burn the body. Now, you have to be in a good position to do the job, otherwise it won't do it. So use kerosene, and it will burn. And that's what we want. by burning the body, essentially we eliminate him as a potential threat later on. So head over here, and we'll find that the armor key is locked. Cannot use that key. We're gonna run through here, dodge, and then head right through this door after we've unlocked it. Zombie to our right, immediately get around him. There we have our next zombie that is essentially a threat, so let's go ahead and burn him before he becomes a problem. You can hear the door rattling. Zombies can actually burst through doors. They can follow after you. If you linger for too long, they will get through. Which is essentially what we don't want to have happen. So let's go back to the West Wing, second floor, and we're gonna make our way around here, and we're gonna make our way back downstairs. Because we have a small key, I want to open up that small door. Use a small key to open up that other door. So we'll take our leave and run downstairs now, and then head down and around in here. Now the reason why I want to go here is because there's actually the broken shotgun in here, I think, that I need to get. So, and I really want a shotgun for the future, so we want to get that really fast. So here, inside here, though, we will find, there it is, the broken shotgun. We have another defensive weapon in the form of a stun grenade. This is a handy little tool because it actually decapitates the enemy right from the jump. So, and there's instances where you can use it as a defensive means of getting away from threats. So it's a bit of both in that capacity. So here we have refilled our canteen. And then inside this drawer, we'll find ink ribbons. We can get more canteen from this later on. It's important to make note of where canteens are so that you can refuel them so you can burn more zombie bodies if you do. Now, I'm not sure. I think this is an armor key, isn't it? Wasn't it? Yeah, so we can't really use that. Now, why the hell would you do that to me? You made me waste all those shots. Were you gonna give me a headshot then at the end? Bro, come on now. You're dicking with me now. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and use the canteen, burn this body here so this big boy don't get up, back up, so you don't get burned by him. And we're gonna head on through. Now, upon entering here, we're going to drop off our ink ribbons, and we're going to drop off the broken shotgun. And just for safety's sake, we're going to take our knife with us. The dog whistle is important for this area, so we're going to need that, but we're going to need the shotgun first, because dogs are not exactly easy to go down to a handgun. You need a shotgun job. Hence why I'm keeping the shotgun is my #1 priority to get. If we want to get that armor key, we need to get that little thing on the collar of the dog. To get the key off, to get that thing off the dog, we need to get the shotgun. Gotta kill it. So heading out here is obviously not an option either because this is a small key. We probably should have used a small key to open that one, but that's okay. We're not going to need it anyway. We don't have a shotgun yet. Zombie will now be to your left now, so you want to avoid him and just go ahead and head over here. I don't think there's more than one zombie up here, it's just that one, so You essentially can really just avoid this zombie altogether. Oh shit. Okay, we're not gonna be able to push that statue. We're gonna have to make him. We're gonna have to do it the other way. So, I thought we could get through it, but it doesn't look like it's moving fast enough. So once we make our way back here, we're gonna do a little bit of legging. Number one thing we're gonna do is go down here, and we're going to access the. We're going to access the art room again. And we're going to use the sword key to open up the door to this room over here. Now we can hear the zombie. He's basically going to be trapped in that room back there, so we really don't need to worry about him. But we're going to use the sword key to open up the passage at the back of the art room to the first floor east wing. Now, upon entering here, we're going to be a bit of a curvature of jokes on us with these jump scares. So as you can see, typical to when we go through this passage here, we'll be jump scared by a dog bursting the glass. But in this instance, we're not going to have that issue. It's just going to basically be like a fake little attempt. Over here, though, you'll find a dagger, which is relevant to what we want. So before we go further, let's go and switch, go to your defensive items by going over with the D-pad and basically just swapping out for the dagger. I don't want to use the grenade on a dog if I have to, so we're going to see what we get. But what we're going to do, though, is basically use our knife and our pistol if we have to, which doesn't look like we're going to. It's only going to happen if we come back through here with a return trip. So it's not guaranteed, but it might. So go ahead and push this cabinet. And underneath, you will find another magazine. Now, heading through that hallway, we will in turn come in the east wing hallway, if you would call it free to begin with. Door to our right will obviously be locked by a simple lock. Can't go through there. Now, in this bathroom, we obviously will find a number of things. Pretty much straightforward that there's a dirty toilet. But over here is the tub water. So we're going to go ahead and drain the tub. It's full of dirty water. Remove the plug. That is just so gross. So as soon as the zombie falls out of the water, rush over there, grab the old key, and then run out. That's essentially what we want to do. That's the only thing we want to do. Now, upon doing that, we're going to head over here and unlock this door with the old key. But we're not going to go through it. Head around, and obviously we're going to have the shotgun in that room to our left, but essentially what we're going to be going through is through this corridor into this little area here to our right. Then we're going to head through this door here back to the storage room here. And what we're going to do is we're going to grab the broken shotgun, and we're going to get our shotgun. And then we're going to solve the painting puzzle that is essentially in this area as well. So go ahead and refill your canteen. Just a little bit more of the kerosene. Go ahead and put away your knife. Grab the broken shotgun. back. Now, the doorknob looks like it's ready to fall apart. Go through it anyway. Now, you can go through this door. When you get the sequence, you can go through this door 1, 2 times, and then the door will effectively break, and you will not be able to go through it. The only way to get through this room at that point will be able to take the long way around the first floor. So you want to be very, very precarious about your fucking going through here. Otherwise, you could take the first way. The other way you could do is basically a shortcut through the mansion on the first floor stairwell, leading out through that mural painting halfway up the stairs in the main hall. So it's a nice shortcut, which we will obviously be using in the event that this one does break. So this one instance, we're going to go through this door, but it will eventually break when you go through it too many times. So let's bear that in mind. Excuse me. Oof. So upon entering here, head to the double doors to our left, and then immediately head into the shotgun trap room to and across from us. Then next room. So right away, you'll find a defensive dagger on the table in front of you in this little sitting area. You'll find ink ribbons there, but first we're going to grab the shotgun off the wall. We're going to replace it with the broken shotgun. We don't get killed by the trap, because everything is pretty much still a constant in that regard. Then we're going to grab the ink ribbons, and then we're going to make our way out. Now, a few things we're going to do here. Number one is we're going to go about and use shotgun to... Well, no, we can use our defensive, a stun grenade, to get rid of the zombie in here, because essentially he's going to be in our way, and we want to get rid of him anyway. So, as soon as we go through the double doors, we're going to head around here and use stun grenade when this ugly asshole tries to take a bite out of us, and essentially chew on this. Now, it's important that you get away from him because it will detonate, and when it does, it will do damage if it's too close. So just be careful, and there you go. One less zombie. That will effectively neutralize him from having to be a threat later, and essentially now. So obviously this door is locked. That is pretty much evident. That is an armor key door now. This is also a Spencer emblem key, so we need a special key for that. So that's a new element to the game's mechanics. But what we will do is take these particular items in order and then head back through the other way. Obviously, we need to get the armor key on our person before we do anything else, which we will do that momentarily. So the first thing we're going to do is go back to the storage room, drop off our ink ribbons, and this is a good thing where actually you can combine your ink ribbons for a change, thank God, by taking them out and putting them away as opposed to the traditional ones. I could very well take I don't want to mix those that one ink ribbon, because then I can use that in an instance and just get right, hit the ground running and get started right away. That's essentially what I want to do. But we need to get another small key in order to gain access to the balcony, and we have one more door that we need to access to effectively do that. So we are going to get our survival knife, and we're going to go ahead and take the wooden bowl. Actually, no. I think we'll go with the pistol. Let's go with the pistol. We do need that wooden board though. We're going to go get the second floor map for the mansion now. This is going to be important to doing that. This is another alteration to the puzzle for the fireplace to get that second floor map. So we're going to head over here and head up and out. Going gonna get the zombie's attention. Ah! Stab him. Now we'll take care of that zombie. Blood will pool. And now we can burn him. So grab your kerosene, get it ready, and use it. And that will effectively clear this floor of zombies in terms of being a threat. Now down here, I don't know if there's a zombie here. It doesn't look like it, so we're going to take our leave down here through this room. Obviously, this is going to be another sitting room, redesigned, courtesy of the remake. Much more lavish in nature. But we'll have a green herb on the floor to our front. And over here, a door that essentially will also be locked by helmet key. So you got a much more emphasis of helmet key doors being locked and inaccessible right now. So we're going to go ahead and write the lantern, the fireplace lantern. And you over here, you'll see lines carved into the relief glow red in intense heat. So now comes the part where we use this. So if you open it up, it's basically a piece of paper. And essentially, what we're doing to do is use it, and those red lines are going to burn into the paper. And that will provide us with a map of the mansion's second floor. So now we have the complete layout of the first floor and the second floor. So we have the mansion's second floor. Now we'll head over here and grab the green green herb. And then we'll head on through the door and continue. Obviously, this door is locked. It is locked by an armor key, so there's no way around it. So in order to access it, we would need to find a means of doing so. We're definitely going to dispatch this zombie. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll see what his position is. If he's positioned to our right, we won't need to worry about him. We'll just run. Alright, he's positioned to our right, so we're just going to go. Save your shots whenever you can possible. If you don't need to fight him, don't. Just keep it moving. Every bullet will be beneficial. Every bullet you could save in one instance will probably be benefiting in later. So now that we have the shotgun, now we can go through with our next stage of getting our next major key. Oh, wait, no. Correction, we can't. We actually have to go get a small key, and there's only one door left for us to get to use the sword key on to get the small key. There's a small key in the basement of the kitchen, which leads us to the underground area of the mansion's basement levels. So we're going to need to make our way through the dining room and effectively make our way past the zombie that's lying in wait for us here to get that item in question. So head on through here, and we'll have to drop Kenneth. We'll have to drop Kenneth's killer to get through here. So that is evident, which is okay. Reload. All that damage, and you only made, and you made. They did. That's twice now they've done that to me, but it's okay. This is obviously not a sword key. This is an armor key, so we're not going to need that. The one that we want is actually going to be further around here, heading further and down the stairs. We don't need the further use for the key, so we can discard it. So we no longer need the sword key. We've used the key up. Eesh. You know, can you imagine what it smells like in this motherfucker? I mean, all this rotten food. It just looks fucking revolting. The door here is going to be locked from the other side, that is evident. This zombie here will start crawling in your position. Over here there will be a dagger. We're going to go ahead and grab that real quick as another means of defense. I don't think there is anything else here for us to grab. Take a look at your map to be sure. Okay, this room is completely clear, so there's nothing here for us to grab. So we're going to make our way back, but unfortunately we're going to be stopped by this asshole shuffling his big ass down the stairs. Now at this point, the other zombie will start crawling in your general vicinity, so we want to try to get around him, if possible, and just lure the other guy around to chase us. And while he's trying to catch up, we'll run around the kitchen counter, the kitchen table, and back up the stairs. So we're gonna take our way back up here and head back through the area. So once we get back to the main hall, descend to the second floor, and then back into the West Wing dining area balcony. We're going to push that statue over if we have the time. I think we do, because the zombie, I think, will have shifted position now. So we will have the time to push this bitch over. So push the statue over just like usual. And then have it fall into the dining room. We will get the jewel later on for the statue in question. Head out, up, and around, avoiding the zombie and getting into the balcony area that we need to be in. Now we are coming over here to the, I'm gonna, there's how many, I've got one kerosene, so. Now, the whole purpose of why I'm going about to the storage room first instead of that door is basically because I'm gonna need my shotgun, obviously, that is pretty much evident. We're also gonna need our dog whistle, and probably we'll take a first aid spray with us just to be safe. So by using the old key to unlock the door here, we will effectively be able to open the door now and enter out here. Now there is going to be a series of green herbs here. So we have a healing source, essentially, for this particular fight. Now what we're going to do is basically position ourselves here and basically hold our ground. This will be our sort of our lock point. And we're going to blow the dog whistle. Using the dog whistle will get the dog's attention and they will come running. And we want to intercept them with a shot. But we may get that issue. If we do have this issue, just quickly mash the buttons to get them to break the contact and drop the dogs. Easy. Depending on your scope, you may not get much damage at all. Go ahead and grab the dog collar. Go ahead and use the green herbs if you need to. We won't need to, so obviously we just know that they're there. That's a good thing for us. So go ahead and take this measure to run along the balcony here. You'll find that basically it's basically one big area. Essentially, there's no real right way or wrong way to go about doing it. I think this is a good spot to essentially to defend against the dogs. The only downside is that you have potential 2 entry points to cover, your right and your left. So, I mean, a fixed path is essentially what you probably could hope for. I probably could have gone down here and did it here, and essentially basically just held my position here. It's really a bottleneck position, but that was another way we could go too. So go ahead and unlock the door from the other side. You'll discard the dog whistle, and then basically being able to head into the next area. So go ahead and check the dog collar. Inside you will find the armor key imitation. So now we can actually get access to the armor key. So now we're going to head back the way we came to the storage room. We're going to grab our kerosene because we're going to need it. Don't go to the right, go to the left. You got to go the long way around, but you'll be able to avoid the zombie that's going to be shuffling his ass towards you. So head into this room, and then we'll grab our kerosene. So once we're in here, open your inventory, put away your first aid spray, grab the ink ribbon, grab the kerosene, and then we're going to save our game, and we're going to head for the armor key now. Now we will make our way out. Go ahead and blow that zombie's head off, get him out of our way, one less of a problem. And then we're going to head through the door over here that will basically lead us back to the second floor hallway, which is where we want to be. And then we're going to head left and right. Now be ready for this zombie to get up. He's going to charge you and instantly be a threat. You want to basically get that one shotgun blast on him. And that will basically take care of the zombie. And that is basically what you are going to contend with if you don't burn the fucking bodies. They are incredibly aggressive, incredibly fast. They run across the room. They run down hallways. And in tight quarters, 2 or 3 of them will easily kill you without a second thought. I would dare say I would put them right up there as being as dangerous as any 2 or 3 hunters. So once we get up into this corridor, we're going to grab the armor key off this little trap here. Put the imitation in its place. Doing so will disable the trap, and in turn allow you to get away with the key. So once we have that, we're going to head back the way we came and head down the stairs. Oops. Just want to get him out of our way here. Make up your mind, buddy. Are you gonna juke for me or what? That takes care of him. Ah, shit. I don't know what I want to do. I'll have to come back and burn that body before he gets up. I don't want to take the chance of him. I didn't think he was, I was trying to get him to move a little bit in terms of his angle so that I could run around behind him. But he couldn't make up his mind whether he was going left or right, so... Well, I have to burn that body now. That takes care of him. So now we are getting a little sketchy for ammo, so we're going to have to be a little bit more due diligent. So right away you can see the zombie to our right is going to basically try to get around, so we're just going to go to the left. Oh, excuse me. So now what we're going to need to do is we're going to make our way to the first floor east area because we're going to need to grab a few things. Now, the only way the dogs will burst through this hallway with the windows is if you go the opposite way back, I think. So we're going to see. As long as you're coming in from this hallway entrance point, they will not breach the windows. If you're coming back through the same hallway from the opposite way, they will breach. So go the other way. Don't come back the other way. If you do come back the other way, they're going to breach the windows. You'll have two dogs breach the windows. Now, entering here, we're going to head out here onto this balcony terrace. There's going to be a number of green herbs we're going to need to grab here, as well as a chemical. That will basically be the herbicide. The dogs will not be a problem. It's when you come back the second time that they will be a problem. Here we have kerosene as well, so we have another option. We have kerosene, we have a green and red herb. We're going to go ahead and mix the red and green herb to get the effect of that, obviously, in itself. We're going to refill our kerosene with the two that's in here. If you need more, you can come back for more, but you risk the dogs jumping over the fence to get at you. Go ahead and grab the green herb. Go ahead and use that green herb to heal yourself, and then grab the herbicide chemical. And then we will make our leave. And then head out the way you came. Now at this point we're going to have multiple zombies breaking the glass, which is going to be a problem. But if we're smart and we do things differently, we'll basically be able to get through here easy enough. But just bear in mind that some of them will follow you eventually, so just bear that in mind as you go through here. Passing through one time will get them set up. A second time will evidently get their attention to come through here. So upon getting through here, we're going to go on around the corner here, drop off a few things. Oh, we got a note on the wall too. So once we get through a certain segment, I believe once we get the armor key, we'll get some resources here for good old Wesker in the form of shotgun shells and a magazine. So we're going to drop off the first aid item. We're going to drop off the herbicide. We'll grab the first aid spray, we'll grab the shotgun shells, and also the magazine for the handgun. Go ahead and reload your shotgun manually, and then grab the magazine as well. We're going to leave the shotgun behind, and we're going to leave the first aid spray behind, because these are going to be relevant to what we do later, not now. Excuse me. So now we're going to head out the door here. Read the note on the wall, and it will say, "I left some bullets in the room on the right. I'll go ahead and look for a way out. Wesker." So good old Wesker is doing his part to see us playing the patsy. We're going to go ahead and put our handgun away. We don't really need it. There's not much in the way of threats. Door was like to fall apart. Go through it anyway. Yes. Now we're going to get access to the painting room and the shortcut leading outside. Now, upon you get to this point, a zombie from the previous room that burst through the glass will follow you into this hallway, so you'll have to deal with that zombie. But the good thing is we're moving through this door now, so we don't have to worry about it yet. Now, in this room, we have the new painting puzzle, which was accounted for the old man to death thing. So the title is written as follows: "Bring the light of truth to the three spirits." This is an entirely new set. This is an entirely new setup of the trap. Trap. So essentially, you'll have these light fixtured stained glass paintings. Each one will have a unique color scheme that we need to attribute to it, and essentially these switches will change the lighting of the stained glass, enabling it to work. So here, the woman in the painting has a green crown, a purple necklace, and an orange bracelet. So a picture of a woman wearing a bracelet, a necklace, and a crown. There's a switch below the picture. Will you press it? No, we will not. What we need to do is get the glass paintings of these other portraits to change to orange, purple, and green. Now, how we do that will be pretty straightforward in normal difficulty, but in the harder difficulties, it does get a little harder. So here, this painting here, a picture of a Valiant wearing a bracelet. It is set a yellow stained glass. Press the switch, and it will turn the picture to orange. That'll take care of that. So the first switch, you're right, so you get into the room. Over here, we have a picture of a sage wearing a necklace. It's set to a rain stained glass. There's a switch here. You press it. It'll change it to a deep red. Then this one over here, essentially, will be a stained wearing glass crown, yellow stained glass. Change it. That'll change it orange. But over here, you'll have these glasses. Switch these. This is orange now, so switch this one, and it will be the crown. That will make it pure white. Change this one, and this is the necklace again. That will make it pure white. Now head back around again. Press this one again. And that will be green now. Then switch this one again, and this will be purple. So now we have the appropriate color schemes for the jewels: orange, purple, green. Now press the switch. Lisa, and pay attention to the name. That's going to be a relevant name for the future with files. So Lisa, protected by the three spirits. So press the switch, and the door will open. Now, this will do us two favors. One, it will open up it'll grant us the death mask with Speak No Evil. And I think we should be able to unlock this. Nope, we need a simple lock. So we need to get a simple lock to open this door. Need a small key to open this door. Which I know where to find one, I think. I think it's going to be in that double bedroom that we didn't access yet. But all the same, we got that puzzle solved, and we got an easy access point leading us outside, back through the other way. So we're going to go ahead and back through the doors we came through. Ah, fucker. I'm all out of defensive weapons. That sucks. So, that's okay. That's why they're there. So let's burn his body, get him out of our way. And we're gonna head through and get the death mask for our storage unit. Hope you guys are having a great morning this morning. It's almost 9 a.m. I did apply for other jobs, though. I got tired of waiting for the Walmart to call me back, so I decided to take initiative and go somewhere else and look for something. So, we'll see who gets first. First person who calls me back gets dibs on my services. Kind of sad, but, you know, you got priorities, you got responsibility. You ain't got the time. You gotta go where the money is, right? So as soon as we get back out of the storage room, we're gonna head into this next area here and use the armor key to open the door. And right from the jump, we're gonna head to the right. Ignore the red herb on the left for the time being. Over here on the chair, you'll find a first aid kit box. Over here on the table here, you'll find a small key as well. So we got our key item to get that item open. But inside the first aid box, we'll find a first aid spray. After we grab those items, we're going to have the ink ribbon and then the green herb over here on the other side of the bed. We're going to come back here. We got to go open that door and open up another path leading outside. So we'll be coming back to this room, though, very shortly. So take the time to basically just get those items dropped off. You're going to do a little bit of this. Like I said, Chris is a little bit harder, and that's because he's got these 6 pockets as opposed to Jill's traditional 8. So we're going to head right into here. And we're going to drop off our first aid spray. We're going to drop off our magazine because there's another item out here we need to grab. And we're going to take our death mask with us. Ah, shit. Oh, boy. You know what that means. You know what that means. We gotta go through the first floor. That door is broken now, unfortunately. So we're jammed. We're jammed up. We gotta go through the other way. Oh, no. I got all those zombies lying in wait for me, looking to take a bite out of my ass. But it's okay. We're good. We'll be fine. We're gonna have to just leg it through there. Maybe we'll grab some kerosene. We'll grab a kerosene refill on our way through. So it's not a big deal. I mean, it's unfortunate, but unavoidable to say the least. So we're gonna have to do what we got to do. So odds are probably what we'll do is we'll make a push to get through that area, and hopefully we won't have to contend too much with any pain in the ass enemies that will impede us too much. So, but essentially what we want is basically to go through this and get through that passage. So, like I said, you only get 2 chances to go through that door, and we use both those chances. So we obviously know the scope of that. 2 chances, and that door is kaput. There's no going through it again. head out here, and we'll see if we can get some quick little. We'll see if we can get a quick little refill for our canteen. Be very careful, as the dog will jump the fence as we hear it. You can't avoid the first attempted bite because he basically will try to grab at your arm. So you can avoid the dog's attack, at least in that animation, but the jumping attack is much more harder to avoid. Oh, shit. Push him out of the way, get him out of your way, and then just deviate and beeline it. Oh, shit. No, get out of here. I am not dealing with you. 4 zombies in one hallway is dangerous business. So, yeah, I'm not going back through there to heal. So we're just gonna have to toughen up and press on into the next area. And get that key to unlock that damn door. Luckily for me, we got some pretty good significance of healing items. And just to think, this is normal. This is normal difficulty. So this creates a great deal of urgency that you otherwise would not have. So it's fun. I love it. I think it's great because it really kind of puts you on your toes with the feel like, yeah, you really are, trying to stay alive as opposed to anything else. So as soon as you get out here, you will find yourself back outside here. Essentially, that is what we want. Over here, you'll find the zombie pretty much shambling his way towards you. We're going to dodge around him, grab the shotgun shells here on the ground. That's what we want. And then we're going to run back. Obviously, same deal. Just avoid him. And then head down the stairs and use that mask. So obviously we got the death mask we got the mask without a mouth. So that is going to go over here on this statue here. And as you can see, the chains will break one by one. And what we want is basically the coffin itself to drop. That is our goal. So once we get the mask placed, we're going to head up the stairs. I don't know where the zombie is, so let's wait and see where he makes an appearance. Let's see. Once he turns around and goes to walk away, wait for him to take that first step. If you try to go out there before he's ready, he will grab you from the rear and take a bite out of you. And that will really kind of render your momentum to get away from him pretty moot at that point. So now we're going to head up the stairs. We're going to go out here on the balcony and use those green herbs to heal ourselves. And then we'll keep it moving with the next area of exploration. We can also drop off our shotgun shells as well. We just need a fully loaded shotgun. We don't need to take the whole thing with us. Oh, come on. Are you serious right now, bro? Alright, let's lure this fucking dumb shit away so we can get by him. I don't want to take the risk of I don't want to waste my ammo, but at the same time, I also don't want to risk getting bit either, because it's a tight quarter. I'm not going to get around him like that. So we're going to need to lure him down here. Even by a marginal measure of him shifting his angle and movement is suggestive in itself. So So head over here, use the green herbs, and you are healed. We're back in business. Head on through the door to the second floor west wing stairwell. Now, obviously, that zombie will try to get through. And the second you go to head down the stairs, he will get through. So that will pretty much be, pretty self-explanatory there. Head on through here, though. Grab the shotgun, drop your shotgun shells, and grab the magazine as well. Matter of fact, go ahead and we won't grab the magazine. We will grab the canteen, and we will grab the survival knife. Oh, and the key. You want the armor key. Duh. Grab the armor key. We're going to have a series of zombies here we're going to need to burn. And then a couple of others who will make a rather rude entrance by also crashing through the glass. The other zombies will be upstairs. They will not be a problem as of yet for you, but you will need to deal with them eventually. Use the armor key to open up the corridor to the other part of the West Wing's first floor, and let's proceed into the next room. On the left, on this little table here by this creepy moonlit corridor, we'll have a stun grenade. And here, which was originally locked with a sword key, is no longer locked. This bedside room will basically have a zombie here on the floor we need to burn. So let's burn him so he doesn't get up when his buddy comes out of the closet. Over here on the bed, though, the same thing has pretty much not changed, is the presence of the magazine here. So once the zombie is there, we'll find the Keeper's file, the Keeper's diary. Played poker tonight with Scott and Elias from security and Steve from research. Steve was a big winner, but tonight I think he was cheating, scumbag. One of the higher-ups assigned me to take care of the creature. It looks like a skinned gorilla. Feeding it instructions to give it live animals. When I threw in a pig, the creature seemed to play with it, tearing off the pig's legs and pulling out the guts before it actually started eating it. Scott woke me, blah, blah, blah. So we pretty much read this file from the director's cut. This is essentially the degradation of the virus outbreak taking effect. I'll have my head handed to me. Fever gone. Rumors going around that a researcher who tried to escape the estate last night was shot. My entire body feels hot and itchy, and I'm sweating all the time now. I scratched the swelling on my arm, and a piece of rotten flesh just dropped off. What the hell's happening? Fever gone, but itchy. Today hungry and eat doggy food. Itchy, itchy. Scott came, ugly face, so killed him. Tasty, tasty. That must be Scott that we burned over there on the floor. Oh, come on. Really, dude? What a waste of good shots. Fucking dick. I should have let him grab me instead of wasting my precious bullets. I gotta start doing that more. So over here inside we'll find a small key. We cannot grab it, obviously, so we need to basically use up we need to go about I don't know why I took the knife with me. I actually probably shouldn't have done that. I need to drop off. I need to make another stop. Let's open up this door first. Let's go and open this door so that it's unlocked and available to us. And then we're gonna head back and drop off some stuff so we can get some other stuff to open these fucking doors. kind of a bit miffed with myself there. I didn't think to not do that, so I probably should have been more I should have used my shotgun. That's what I should have did. Now I think about it. So go ahead and put away the items in question that you will likely not need for right now. We're gonna go grab the. Matter of fact, we'll put our handgun away, take our shotgun with us. That's what we'll do. And we'll take the herbicide. There's zombies beating against the glass. It's only a matter of time before that bullshit breaks. Typical of a zombie genre film or game, really, when you think about it. So once upon entering here, go over here and grab the small key, the old key, whichever you want to refer to it as, and then essentially that is pretty much what that's all we're gonna find here. But we'll take that, and then we're gonna head back out into the hall of the dining hall, and we're basically gonna grab the blue jewel that was dropped out here. Now, I'm not entirely sure. Let's take a look at our map here. I think this door is locked. It is. So we're going to go ahead and unlock it, but we'll come back here later. This is going to be for the emblem puzzle. So we're going to use the armor key, get that door unlocked. We won't go through it quite just yet because we haven't found Rebecca yet, which we will be finding her very soon. Unlike the original OG version, this has a very fixed kind of discovery pattern of characters you meet and when and how. Minor deviations depending on how you play, but other than that, you essentially will almost always find her in the same. You will essentially find her always with Richard in Richard's hallway where he was bitten by that snake in the body. So upon entering and grabbing the gemstone, we'll return back to the main room here with the tiger eye statue. Go ahead and use the blue gemstone, which will in turn turn the tiger statue for more shotgun shells. Now, there's going to be a number of things we're going to need to grab. Obviously, we both know that there is going to be a series of herbs we're going to need to get with the plant enemy that we will need to dispatch with the herbicide. So essentially, what we're going to need to do is basically just kind of drop off a proportionate number of materials, with the exception of just a shotgun, and then basically just go from there. So drop off the armor key, drop off we won't drop off the kerosene. We'll drop off those items, the old key and the shotgun shells. And I think that should cover it. So we don't really need a huge amount of material. We basically just want to drop these zombies real quick. so that they're not a threat later. You don't necessarily need to drop them. You basically just drop the one. The other ones pretty much will be, kind of, vagrant, depending on if you manage to get their attention. So we'll see what happens. See the zombie shadow on the wall there, beating on the glass. So upon entering here, we'll have the pump here. And the second we try to get close, we will obviously see that the plant is alive and well. Now we have a number of plants here, of herbs, and essentially what this basically will indicate is that you either get the green one, the green turn there's a lid on the pump station. Which do we turn the thing? So we want to turn it to the green. If we turn to the green, it'll water the plants, the herbs on the left. We don't want that. What we want is the red. So turning the water on for that will turn the pump on it. If you put the herbicide in and you put it in the wrong, and if you put it in the wrong color line, it'll essentially kill the herbs, and you won't be able to use them. So essentially, that is what you want to do. So now we'll take the herbicide, use it, and that will start killing the problematic use of that. Now the herbicide will essentially kill the plant, and now we will grab the green herbs and mix them. I don't know if there's any red herbs here. I don't think so. Now, over here, you will find another death mask, and this one is going to be the one without eyes. And now we will take our leave. Now, the second we go about walking back, the zombies will burst through the glass, front and back. At that point, you pretty much don't really have much to really concern yourself with the exception of the fact that one of them may potentially follow you into Kenneth's Hall if you do not dispatch it. So, but that being the case, we're not going to really worry too concerned about that. So we're going to take ourselves into here, refill our kerosene one level, and then essentially just make sure we have enough kerosene left in here. I don't know if we will, but we'll see. Let's see. There's only a little bit of kerosene left. So usually when you hear that indicator, you'll only get one more kerosene, little load for the fill up of the can. And then that, yeah. So now that we have the other mask, we can drop that off. Make our way out. We have a couple more places we need to visit with the armor key in tow, so go ahead and grab this green herb. We'll also grab the handgun ammo. Mix the green herbs. Examine the death mask. And I think we'll take the kerosene as well. Now, you don't necessarily have to deal with that zombie, so that will be pretty much straightforward, where you just, take off. Don't worry about it. one to your right, obviously, will be another one that you can avoid altogether by that positioning, and then just head on through, and then bang. I stress not to kill as many zombies as you want, because when the hunters do appear at the mansion, like they did in the original, they will not replace the zombies. If you spare any zombies, any hunters that were going to be in the area will not be in the area. It'll be strictly that zombie. So you kind of lower the anxiety level, lower the threat level of there being any existential threats going further forward and in that particular vicinity. So try not to kill every zombie, because they will actually help you in the long run by keeping those existential threats well in hand, so you don't have to deal with that again. Oh, that almost got me. Oh, that was lucky. Woo! We don't have the armor key, but we got to get it. But before we even think about getting that, we're going to go ahead and solve this second floor area up here. So head down here, and we're going to finish examining this apartment here in question. So immediately grab the red herb over here on the floor. And then head into the bedroom we left behind earlier when we were on our little crusade to get those other items taken care of. Ink ribbon will be there. Ignore it for now. Grab the green herb over here. Mix it. Grab the ink ribbon now. Now there is one thing we did. Now we do need to make a stop and drop off the ribbons and the herbs, because we need 3 slots for this next part. In the next neighboring room, there's actually a little bit of a puzzle we need to solve. So we need to have 3 spots to effectively solve it. So we're going to head downstairs to the storage room and drop off those items. Got room in our inventory. So upon entering here, go ahead and drop off the herbs. Matter of fact, drop off your kerosene too. You're not going to need it for a little bit, so. And then we're going to head back the way we came. Go ahead and unequip your shotgun so we're not moving so slow. I don't tend to equip my weapon very often, because you actually do have a little faster momentum with walking. And I don't want to run through the entire game either. So I want to enjoy my game. Fun fact, did you know that there was actually originally a laser that you could actually, that was supposed to be a part of the unlockable content? Yeah, an actual high-powered laser weapon that essentially you could have used in this game. I thought it was bullshit, and then I saw a video of the said content in question. Oh, there's our small key we need. Okay, so let's go back and get the small key now. I was wondering if there was a key we needed for that room, and it looks like we did. So we got to go back and get that small key now. Should have checked that door earlier so that I knew. My memory is still coming back, because there's some features that changed from Director's Cut that they didn't change for this. There's some features they did change from Director's Cut for this that actually is a bit topsy-turvy. Alright, so we got a small key. Fabulous. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm kind of liking it. Small key, I remember when Director's Cut, if you recall, small keys were used to open desk drawers that were simple locks. And we didn't have to worry about that too much with Jill, because Jill had the lockpick. Jill's lockpick effectively unlocked a lot of simple locks. So upon returning to this room, use the old key to open the door, and then now we can head inside. right away. Inside we have like this kind of little makeshift lab experiment thing going over here with this aquarium. Over here is a file. The researcher's right. There is a letter. My dearest Alma, let me first apologize for not being able to call you. A man wearing sunglasses didn't prevent any phone calls. Sorry, Alma. I sit there trying to think of where to begin, of how to explain in a few simple words all that's happened in my life since we last spoken. Already I fail. I hope this letter finds you well and that you'll forgive the tangents of my pen. This isn't easy for me. Even as I write, I can feel the simplest of concepts slipping away, lost to feelings of despair and confusion, but I have to tell you what's in my heart before I can rest. Alma, please believe that what I'm telling you is the truth. The entire story would take hours for me to tell you, and time is short, so accept these things as fact. Last month, there was an accident in the lab, and the virus we were studying leaked. All my colleagues who were infected are dead or dying, and the nature of the disease is such that those who still living lost their senses. The virus robs its victim of their humanity, forcing them in their sickness to seek out and destroy life. Even as I write these words, I can hear them pressing against my door like mindless, hungry animals. Alma, I have tried to survive only to see you again, but my efforts only delay the inevitable. I am infected, and there is no cure for what will follow, except to end my life before I lose the only thing that separates me from them. My love for you, and then I'll have entered my eternal sleep, where there is peace. Please understand, please know that I'm sorry, Martin Crackhorn. So, a little bit of difference in the writing, which is kind of good, because I thought some of the other shit was kind of cringy. Here we have a golden fishhook. We're going to need that. Over here, a golden bee, which we're going to need that too. Check the lab coat. I don't think there's anything in it. Or there was. Now it seems like in this game there is none. And then over here, grab the bee specimen. So what we're going to do is basically combine the gold lure with the hook and basically replace them. Put the lure over here with the actual lures, and then put the bee specimen over here with the actual specimens. And at the bottom there'll be a switch. Press that switch, and inside we will find the Windcrest, signature to the original, but different in purpose this time around. Now you can get poisoned by this little bastard, so you want to get out of that room as fast as possible, because we don't have any blue herbs yet. Now, once you take a look at the crest, obviously there basically is going to be nothing really significant about it, but we're going to use this very differently, traditionally, than we did in our original play of the director's cut. I don't want to give any more than that because it will spoil it. So, but it is a relevant piece, and it is going to be key to getting a very important, equally important piece later on. So we're going to head down here and drop off those items in question. And then we're going to grab probably a healing item, because we're going to need the armor key. Don't forget that. We're going to need that. We got a couple more doors to unlock, and that's exactly where we're going to do next. So we're going to head over here to the armor room and use the armor key to get another mask that will be hidden there. And then we're going to have the armor key to unlock Richard's room, and finally get Richard and Rebecca in that order. So right away, as soon as the zombie starts approaching, head around the corner and use the armor key to enter the suits of armor, the armory. Now this is a very different puzzle. It does still share the very same contention of the poison gas puzzle if you press the switch, but the exception is now we have 4 statues that we have to push in. However, certain statues will force other ones out of place, so we need to fight the right order. So basically we're going to see about doing the right one first, and that will in turn force that one open, And then this will basically source this one open. But that will force that in turn open again, which will bring this one over here more. But the important one that we want is to push this back, and that will force the other one back over there. And that will solve the puzzle. So once all the suits and armor have been pushed back, go ahead and press the switch. And then we will find a key item with a small music box. So take a look at it real quick, and you'll find that it is a series of different details here. It's a design of a sun and a moon. On the plate, it says, "Sunshine will awaken me." So we need to press the sunshine item to essentially get it open. But there's a switch here, so we don't know exactly what it'll do if we do this. So let's find out. Nothing. So we want sunshine. So let's go ahead and press sunshine. Appears as if you failed. So there we go. Let's go ahead and do it the right way. And inside the box, we will find the see, smell, and speak no evil mask. So that will conclude that little puzzle. Very extra, I might add, but still pretty fun. Now, after we've done that, we're going to open up the armor door and head back around the corner and head and enter the Richard's room. Head forward. You'll have a cutscene.
You.
Chris Redfield, Alpha Team. We're here to rescue you. Richard, what the hell happened to you? Chris, this place... Get your team out of here. Demons everywhere.
Don't talk. He seems to have been bitten by a poisonous snake, but the size of the bite mark is huge.
It's not just any ordinary snake. Take my word for it.
He needs serum. I left it in another room.
I'll go get it.
Please hurry.
Hold on. I'll be back.
Now, at this point, this is pretty much where you will take the initiative to save Richard's life. Again. Now, obviously, we know where it is. It's going to be in the medicinal room on the first floor, left wing of the storage room. So that is where we're going, and that is where you're hauling ass. So get to work. Now, you can take multiple ways to get there. Essentially, what is the most effective for me is taking the long way around here. Go ahead and use the armor key to unlock the door to Forrest's room, his corridor, out on that terrace. We're going to head out here on the balcony. This saves us a little bit of time, because essentially this puts us in position to basically navigate our way there easy enough without the problem of the zombie. But seeing as the zombie is already in the hallway, this is essentially the route you would have taken if you had done things differently. But in this case, I didn't get that lucky. I'm still kind of fresh to the game, and I haven't remembered all the easy points. But it matters not, because essentially what we want is to basically just get down the stairs and get that serum. So don't worry about dropping stuff off, because you're going to be coming right back here. Rebecca and Chris effectively will be bringing Richard back to this room specifically to help him with his recovery. So head back up the stairs. We're going to go ahead and just get this asshole out of our way. Fucking don't know why I did that. You could have did this first, Shell, you dickhead. But it matters not. zombie will be to our left. Immediately deviate and head to your right. You'll have instances like that, so just be wary about using your shotgun blast to get a headshot on them. Sometimes it won't really connect, and you'll have wasted a shot for no reason. I think it's a difficulty issue, maybe. So, just time your shot to get that kill shot easy enough if you're lucky. So, upon entering the hallway, head down the hall, and immediately you'll get the serum to Rebecca to give to Richard.
Hope this is what you wanted.
Thank you. I'm gonna give you a shot now, Richard. Hang in there.
Here. Take it. It's a radio. Take care of yourself, Rebecca. Richard!
He's okay. He's just unconscious.
Rebecca, it's not safe here. Let's get Richard to a safer place.
Right. Richard's doing well, Chris. He should recover soon.
Good. Richard needs you now.
As soon as Richard gets better, we'll come after you.
Rebecca, you okay with a gun?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to continue my investigation.
Be careful. Okay?
I think I am going to dispatch. I'm going to go out dispatching one of these zombies in this hallway here. Basically, just to mitigate the impact of them making my route through here a little difficult. So the zombie there is not the issue. It's this zombie here that will be the issue. So we essentially want to. Well, we can't really burn the body now. But we got rid of those two zombies, so we're gonna head back to the room and get our kerosene. That's what if I could find my words. We want to get the kerosene to get rid of those particular threats. I don't want to have them get up as Crimson Heads yet, so we're gonna head back and get our kerosene. And this is when Rebecca can tell that ultimately you can get medicine.
This room is equipped with all sorts of medical supplies. I could pretty much treat any wound. Want me to treat your wounds?
Tell her no, unless you need it.
No, I'm okay. But if something should happen to me, I'm counting on you.
No problem. But we're very short on medical supplies, so take care of yourself.
So, Rebecca will stay here, obviously, with Richard. And if you need to be healed, essentially, she is the person to do it, with whatever resources that are in that room. But I'm not sure how many times, because I've never gotten that bad, where I've had to need her to heal me multiple times. So, but yeah. Grab the kerosene. And then we're going to grab the magazine as well. We don't really, we'll reload we'll give a full reload to our shotgun and we'll put the other ones away. And now we'll head back and burn those bodies of those zombies in question. Now we will head into here. And we're gonna head to Forrest's balcony. His where he died. Forrest's spear. The zombie, long-haired zombie. So descend up the stairs. Ascend up the stairs, not descend. Ascend up the stairs, and then basically make your way around and right on through the balcony terrace. This is essentially the last door where we unlocked the with the armor key. Out here, you'll find it is basically a hugely different area before. Originally, it was like just this big, but it actually goes a long way, wraps all the way around the balcony terrace on the east wing terrace. On the left here, you'll find a dagger, as well as a green, probably a green herb. But here we have Forrest.
No.
Now, you will not get no ammo from him. But what you will be able to do is go further around this balcony here, and there will be a series of green herbs. But what we want to do is basically just drop him really fast, because he will get up and try to kill you. And that will pretty much conclude with Forrest being a problem. I do not know if he becomes a Crimson Head. I don't think so. But I don't know. I mean, I've never had that issue. I do know that on One Dangerous Zombie mode, which is essentially a game mode when you complete the game as both characters, basically presents him as a constant threat pursuing you through the mansion. Basically as a zombie with a shitload of grenades all over his body. If you get attacked by him, you blow up and die. If you shoot him, you blow up and die. That's why I keep separate saves for Jill and Chris, because I do not like that particular feature for once again. So I make it to make sure not to go through that again. But yeah, that is pretty much that. So what we will do, though, much to my better judgment, is we're going to go downstairs and we're going to go get that other kerosene from the balcony terrace here on the first floor. We got some health, so we're not worried about getting fucked up a little bit. We'll get fucked up regardless. We're going out there with a dog, and then we got a corridor of zombies to get through. So we're essentially just going to go through here again, go out there, get whatever kerosene's left in that container, and then make our way back. Again, remember, as long as you're coming through this corridor, through this direction and not the other, you don't have to worry about the dogs bursting through the glass. That would be probably the biggest problem you would have to run into. Get off me, dog. Get off me, dog. Get off me, dog. Get off. Get off. Bad boy. Bad boy. Get out of here. Ah, damn it. Well, thankfully, we're not in caution status yet. We're on our way, though, I'm pretty sure, if we don't be careful. One kerosene, I'll take it. I don't give a shit. It was worth it. Go ahead and stab this asshole. Get him out of our way. God, get off of me. Get off. So once we've done that, go ahead and use the green herbs that we took with us to heal ourselves, and we'll get out of here. I don't think we'll have to worry about them coming through the door again. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I'm not sure. But it matters not. So essentially, that's exactly where we wanted to be in that respect. So now we will head over here. I'm thinking. Yeah, so we're gonna want to head up here now, and we're gonna go back down that corridor where Richard initially was, and we're gonna do a bit of exploring of the third floor / attic, but we need to get something before we can even think about getting the shield key. So head back into the corridor where Richard's body initially would have been if we hadn't got there in time. Notice the shadow on the wall. There will be a zombie here lying in wait to intercept us. But if we stick to the flanks of his rear, we should be able to slip by him without a problem. Go ahead and grab the 2 green herbs, mix them, and then we'll make our way out. And he's just fucking oblivious to our presence. But he will eventually break down the door and come after us if we're not careful. Instant headshot. Love it. Perfect. Over there in the corner on the dirty floor, you'll find a stun grenade, which we will take as well. And then head inside the small makeshift eatery room, or whatever you want to call it. On the shelf, on the table 2 in front, will be a magazine. So we got a big, hearty amount of ammunition, which is essentially what we want. Go over here and light the candles so we can see in this dark-ass room. And then on the shelf to our left, we will find another magazine, bringing it to 60 rounds of ammunition. Then we're going to push this bookcase, and inside I think there'll be a zombie in our way. There is, so let's back it up. Lead him out. Let him come to you with his receding-ass hairline. We're going to run into the room where he came out of, and we're going to check the shelf, and inside we'll find the missing music score, which is essentially what we want for the next part of our piece, solving the next puzzle. So we're going to head around again while he's trying to shuffle his way to catch us, and we're just going to walk right out. Easy. We're not coming back here again, and he's not going to come out, so we're just going to leave him there in the room. Now we will go ahead and take ourselves out here. And we're going to drop this zombie out here. Now, by dropping that zombie, we can use our last kerosene and burn his body so he's not in the way. And then we'll make our way out. So now that we've dispatched those zombies, now we're going to head directly for the room where we will find the music notes to play the Moonlight Sonata. Essentially, this is where Rebecca will make her entry, and we will be able to move forward. Now, considering we've done most of everything there is to be done, I think what I will do is pretty much stop the stream right around the time when we get ready to head for the next part of that quest line. So what we will do is go ahead and take ourselves to the storage room and drop off some of these items, obviously. We'll go in here and refill our kerosene with what's left inside this can of kerosene. Now, in easier difficulties, you can get a lot more kerosene out of these things than usual. Easier difficulty, you get more healing effect from just a simple green herb. You get double the ammo, take less damage, you deal more damage. Headshots are more easier to get. Kerosene is in plentiful supply. The ink ribbons are in plentiful supply. So you got a huge amount of cushion with easier difficulties. That's easiest. Easier, basically, more ink ribbons, more ammo, in that order. So it really kind of depends on your preference of your style of play. So, I mean, there is no right way, there is no wrong way. So just, go crazy a little bit and, see what you can have fun with. We'll leave our shotgun behind. We'll take our survival knife with us. Then what we will do is head back to... We'll head to the music room, which we did not explore earlier. Note the detail of the defensive item in question. Chris will have a stun grenade on his rear belt behind him, as well as daggers if he has daggers instead. So another little detail you'll notice is, if you don't know what you have equipped, essentially that's how you know. Essentially, you'll see it on your person. The dagger will be on the left, or the grenade. Jill will get a stun gun, which she will use, a battery-powered stun gun. So upon entering this hallway, head up here and head to the lounge/area with the grand piano. I don't think I would see... Usually you'll find some ink ribbons here in this vicinity, but in harder difficulties, you won't find much in the way of resources or materials that are relevant to this particular area. Push the bookshelf over, or the wine cabinet over, and you'll find the musical score. It's titled Moonlight Sonata. But if you go to open it up inside, this is why we didn't come here earlier, as a section of the music is missing, leaving only the beginning and the end of the music. Well, we have the missing music right here, so now we can combine them, and that will complete the full set of the music. Hence why we didn't come here initially before. So we will go ahead and use this, but unfortunately Chris will be an absolute fucking inept musician who will be saved by Rebecca. I like how I got jump scared when she comes in.
Rebecca.
That sounded like Moonlight Sonata.
Can you play?
Now, if you noticed earlier in Resident Evil 0, if you were here for my playthrough of that, you would notice she cannot play. It was actually Billy who played. She does play, but not as good as Billy. Hence why she asks to practice when she is playing with Chris. Oof.
Oh, what was that?
My interpretation is off a little. Let me practice for a while.
Now, you can say yes or no, but ultimately she'll stay here and practice all the same.
Sure. But don't get too carried away.
Oh, I won't.
So while she's in here practicing that, you basically are free reign to do whatever else you want. But we don't really have anything else we want to do because we've done everything there is to do. You can even take a look at your map just to be sure. Obviously, there's a few areas that still have red in them because we have items in those rooms to grab. But essentially what we want to do is go back to the dining hall and grab the emblem. And then we are going to go back and sit with Richard for a brief stint. Now, if you have nothing else to do, this is essentially what you should do, because this is the only way to progressively move her practice forward in such a way that she will actually get it right and actually call upon you to come back when you go back in the room. If you go back in the room, nothing's going to happen. She's just going to keep practicing. But if you go back and check on Richard, you'll get the cutscene of him basically sitting with him for a second, and that will be the pretty much phase where you can actually go and check on Rebecca now. You checked on Richard, now check on Rebecca. But we're not going to go back and check on Rebecca. We're going to save our game, and then we're going to go forward with the next stage of our method. You can hear the wind whistling outside from the zombies that broke the windows. So heading back to Richard's resting self, we'll drop off a few things and we'll grab one thing, I think. Let's see what I have in my inventory. I can't remember. So we're going to want those items in question. So we'll take the first aid spray. Not first aid spray, I mean ink ribbons. So head over here and sit with Richard really temporarily. And this will accelerate the playtime for Rebecca to where she will get it by like that. So, but before we join on her, we're going to save our game and we're going to call a stoppage on that because I actually have someplace to be in about an hour and I have to be getting ready here. So, but so far, pretty pleased with that. I'm a little bit unnerved by the fact that I made so many blunderous mistakes with my tactics, and in some instances the game decided to sort of fuck me on ammunition expenditures. But all things considered, I can't be too upset. So, but that is going to be it for first part of Chris's normal run on Resident Evil 1, the remake. Thank you very much for tuning in. I am looking forward to playing more of this in the future for you. So, yeah. Comment, like, and subscribe. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, tips, pointers, or advice, leave them in the comment section. I'm sure we and I would absolutely love to hear about them. And I will be back a little bit later in the future, and we will continue with our next playthrough, part 2 of Chris, standard difficulty of Resident Evil, the remake. I am Savage Squishy86, and I will see you guys next time.